Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news on Good Friday. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to be a Good Friday for Manchester United. It's just Good Friday in a religious sense in this country today. What's going on here? Are we actually live? We're live. That's all that matters. We're live. How are we all doing anyway? We're going to be talking about Paul Pogba at the start of this show. There's some real Paul Pogba transfer confusion this morning. We'll get some clarity on what's going on there. Some people getting very excited. It's not April Fool's, so it can't be. Basically, there's a story out there that Paul Pogba is not looking to leave Manchester United, which isn't actually true. I think we all know that that's not true, but there may be an element of truth in it. So we'll get into that. We'll also be talking about Cavani, more stories about Cavani leaving Manchester United for Boca Juniors, bit on Haaland, injury update, Milenkovic, James Cooper talking about the Henderson De Gea thing, which, to be honest with you, I don't find James Cooper frustrating. I just think it's frustrating that we are focusing on the goalkeeper situation because it takes our eye away from everything else. But I just want to say very, very big shout out to Manchester United Football Club. They do some good things. We want them to do more good things, but this is a very good thing. It's a new thing that they've brought in. I don't know whether to say campaign because it's not a campaign. It's actually going to stay forever. It's called See Red, where Manchester United fans or any football fans can online report racial discrimination and any other discrimination, illegal discrimination, basically that we see, this abuse that we see online towards our players and other players, whether it's racial or homophobic or sexist. Manchester United at the forefront of a campaign, the See Red campaign, which I think, look, it's great that Manchester United are doing that, but we know the people who've really got to do it. It's Twitter, it's Facebook, it's YouTube, it's all the big social media players need to come together for a social media dream team and actually stop these idiots. I mean, look, Claude from AFTV, or formerly of AFTV, the other day, he died. I had people messaging me saying, "Wish it was you," and then it went further to wish it was Seb, who's my son. So it's not just racial abuse; it's just vile people. And I applaud Manchester United for what they're doing, but I really plead for the big social media companies to do something around social media. People can't enter the UK legally without passports and documents, but you can go on social media and say vile things to people under numerous fake accounts. So please, I think we've moved on as a society now. I think everybody wants this new world on social media where we rid it of these idiots, or they're held accountable and we find out who they are. And I think that would be great. So I applaud Manchester United for that. Anyway, let's move on with the show. Big good news from Manchester United there, though. Let's talk about Paul Pogba to start off with them, because the headline of the show is a Pogba transfer swap, where Fabrizio Romano talks a lot. He talks more than me. He's on more outlets now than me, but and he's better than me. But realistically, he's talking about the Paul Pogba situation, and also I just want to go through what Fabrizio Romano spoke about his team for Man United next season. We'll do that towards the end of the show because I'd be interested to get your thoughts on that. But there's two stories coming out this morning. So Andy Mitten, who is a Manchester-based fanzine writer, journalist, he's in a lot of the press conferences now. He's come out and said that Paul Pogba's not looking to leave Manchester United. Well, sorry, I believe Romano, Mino Raiola and Di Marzio on this, because they're far closer to Paul Pogba than Manchester United or any other British-based journalist. And what Fabrizio Romano is saying is that there's no talks with Manchester United and Pogba's still looking for a club. Di Marzio has said this and Raiola has said it. So Riola's his agent, and Fabrizio Romano and Di Marzio are very close to Raiola. So that's where I'm at. If you want to believe that Paul Pogba wants to stay at United, that's absolutely fine. But I will say this in defence of Andy Mitten's article, that, and I said this a few days ago, and I didn't have any information, it was just a prediction based on what Mino Raiola said at the start of the week, that he could take his 5-year-old nephew to find a new club for Paul Pogba. I said it at the time and I'll say it again, and maybe there's something in this, because I want Paul Pogba to stay. I think if Paul Pogba goes, I want him to stay at United because he wants to stay. I don't want him to stay and run his contract down. That's the worst scenario. And I don't want him to stay and sign a contract and then be looking for a move next year anyway. I want him to stay and commit the rest of his career to Manchester United, which is a long shot. But I do feel that the way Raiola is talking in the press this week, it sounded a bit desperate. It's like the guy who gets dumped by his wife and then goes, "Whoa, I don't care if she's got rid of me because I'm useless. I'll go down old Ritz's tonight or the 80s bar and I'll pull anybody. And you're like, yeah, have you seen yourself? That's not going to happen. And I just wonder if we're moving towards this area where, yeah, Pogba wants to leave United. Raiola wants him to get out of United. But they can't get somebody to afford him. And I'm just wondering, with that article from Andy Mitten, if that is the slight insight that he can't get the move out of Manchester United. Because he definitely wants to go. I've got a tickle in my throat here. He definitely wants to go. I think we all know Pogba wants to go. I mean, I don't think anybody can kid themselves that Pogba's committed to United. He definitely wants to go. But that doesn't mean that can't change. And maybe we're starting to see the start of that change. I don't know. But look, even Fabrizio Romano yesterday was saying that there are no talks with Manchester United, that he's still looking to leave, and that there may have to be a swap deal for Pogba because Manchester United are not going to lower their price. And I think there is the key. There is the key. The truth is actually something here. And Advath says, well, maybe the truth is that he's going to run his contract down, and that's even worse. And that is the thing that's the third option, and it's a great point by Advath. So I think what we've got here is we've got Mino Raiola, his agent, we've got Dimarzio and Romano, who are very close to Raiola, and they're all saying that Pogba's not going to sign a new contract and he's looking for another club. So you've got that. You've then got this story this morning that Pogba's not looking to get out of Manchester United, and it's one sentence. And like Advath says, that doesn't mean Paul Pogba isn't looking to get out of Manchester United and wants to commit his future here and get a statue. That could mean Paul Pogba's not looking to get out of Manchester United because in a year's time, he's going to go for free. And that is the worst situation for United. Paul Pogba at United next season, running his contract down, is a negativity we don't want. We don't want that because Raiola, for the first time ever, will have every right to be vocal about leaving because we've got no power. He's got every right in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April of next season to say Pogba's going. I'm off. We're talking to Madrid. We're talking to Barcelona. We're talking to PSG. We're talking to Man City. There's nothing to stop Pogba going Man City next summer. There's nothing to stop him going anywhere. And the disruption it will cause us next season will be huge. What do you think the situation is? I want to read a few comments. What do you think the true situation is with Pogba? I personally think it is this. He wants to go this summer, but United are holding out for a fee that's unattainable. So he said, I'm going to run my contract down. I think that is what's happening. And Manchester United need to do what Fabrizio Romano spoke about a year ago and what he spoke about yesterday. Swap him. That's what you do. But does our club want to do swap deals? Because I've said this before. To me, I feel that our owners don't want to do swap deals because if you take 50 million for Pogba and you give 30 million to Solskjaer, you take 20 million for yourself. If you swap Pogba for Varane, you get nothing and the Glazers get nothing. So I don't think we like swap deals. Even though they're brilliant deals in modern day football, they're not good for owners who want to take money out of the club, which we know. So again, I'm mocking the owners and I'm saying, there's the challenge. Prove to us that you want to build a football team instead of lining your pockets, because I think it's idiocy on a Class A level to let Pogba run his contract down. You've got to let him go this summer. If he wants to go and he's going to run his contract down, face it, it's a losing battle. It's like trying to bloody keep the Titanic afloat with a sieve. It's going down. It's going down. And if Pogba's contract's if he's going to run his contract down, that's just a negativity around the club for 12 months. That's a horrible hope. Hope you and your family are well, says Jimbo. Thanks very much. And Seb, we love you. And Mark, stay positive. Hope you're okay. No need to be bullied. I'm not being bullied, James. Mate, I'll probably get a load of people doing it on social media today. So I'm just calling out what sort of vile behaviour there is on social media. And I applaud Manchester United for the See Red thing that they've done. And I hope that the big social media companies can do more. Look, there's far more good people involved in what we do on the United Stand and what I do personally than these evil people. I'm fully aware of that. It's taken me years to get to this point, but for the last few years I've realised this, that there are just vile people on social media and you get used to it. And I'm powerless to do anything about it. I don't have the power to remove these people from social media, so I just ignore them because I just think it's a reflection of themselves. People who say vile things like that, must be messed up in the head, vile people. So you go and live in your sad little life, and I'll live in my positive, happy life that I have with the positive, happy people who like what we do, and my family and friends. Do you think the Armenia will make the World Cup? Also, can I get a pic of your feet, says Nora. Yeah, what a waste of a super chat that was, but I'm sure somebody laughed. No, they didn't. We can and should swap Pogba for Valverde at Real Madrid, says Roland. Let me just get rid of that person there. Right. Okay. Right. Would you take Goretzka at Manchester United? His deal is up in 2022, says S. Roy. Well, look, just to wrap up the Pogba thing before we move on. So people are probably joining a little bit late. Please smash a like on the video. We have a situation this morning where some United fans are getting very, very excited because Andy Mitten, who's a journalist, has said that Pogba's not looking to get out of Manchester United this summer. It's amazingly interesting how he's just wrote that sentence in the middle of an article that was about strikers, which we're going to talk about in a minute. That suggests to me that Andy Mitten either doesn't want to tell you the full story, or doesn't know the full story, or has just been told that sentence. Because that sentence means nothing, really. Paul Pogba's not looking to get out of Manchester United. It didn't even say this summer, actually. Paul Pogba's not looking to get out of Manchester United. Today? Next month? The summer? Forever? It's a very... I'm sorry, I'm not getting positive about that. I'm not getting positive about that because Romano, Riola, Di Marzio, they're all saying Pogba wants to go. So I will go with them. But also, that statement could mean anything. It might mean, at the moment, he's not pushing the move because there's no contract talks. After the Euros, he'll push the move or he'll run his contract down. I don't think this Pogba situation is anywhere near positive until we see the day he's holding up a 4-year contract at United. And that, to me, looks unlikely. I think United need to grab hold of this situation. We're experts in ostrich tactics, of burying our head in the sand and leaving our ass exposed. We get kicked up the ass every time. So I think what Manchester United need to do for once is be proactive on a difficult situation. You know, we got bullied by Dortmund last summer. We missed out with Dortmund on Haaland. We missed out on Dortmund with Bellingham. We took 6 weeks to deal with Leicester on Harry Maguire. We took all of January on Bruno Fernandes. It's about time. If Manchester United have truly made structural changes within their recruitment, they need to take the bull by the horns. This Pogba situation, we can control it. Pogba's got the power, but we can control it. We say, look, are you signing a contract with Manchester United? No, I'm going to wait till July. Well, we ain't waiting, Paul. You've got 1 year left on your contract. We ain't waiting. So you tell us what club you'd like to go to. We will speak to that club and we will start talking about whether they're going to pay a fee or whether they're going to do a swap deal. Because we can't wait for you in July. Because you come knocking on our door at the end of July and say you want to go. That messes this club up. So I'm sorry, you're either committed to this club or you don't. And I'm not saying you've got to do it now. We've got 2 months of the season. But at the end of May, I'm going to knock on your door. I'm going to ring you up. I'm not going to knock on your door and ring you up. That would be stupid. I'm outside on your phone. I want to know what you're doing. And United need to take control. And from what we're hearing in the press at the moment, it feels like United are very much... Oh, if he runs his contract down, he runs his contract down. If he tries to leave, he tries to leave. And maybe, just maybe, he'll have a total change of heart and sign a new contract. I'm just going to stretch my back for a moment there. Oh, it's bad this morning. I was up till about 1 o'clock playing Grand Theft Auto. Hi, Mark. Would you consider selling both keepers for 80 million plus wages and sign Donnarumma on a free? Keep up the great work. Donnarumma is another Mino Raiola client. I'd rather not do that. And hi, Mark. Did you hear Haaland representatives were in Barcelona last night? Did you hear anything on this? Love the show, says Red92. Funnily enough, both those topics will be spoken about. So we've got to move on from Pogba. But look, interested to see whether you're watching live or not, what you think the truth is about Paul Pogba. So let me know in the comments. We'll come back to that. In the same article by Andy Mitten, quite interesting, it feeds into Haaland. He was saying that the striker is the most important piece of the puzzle for Manchester United. But then in the same article, it says that was selling Lukaku a mistake? No, it wasn't, because he wanted to leave because he wasn't getting the service. I think you've just found your answer there. How can Erling Haaland or Harry Kane or the striker be the most important piece in the puzzle for Manchester United when Lukaku left because he wasn't happy and he wasn't getting the service? We're still not providing the service to our striker. So how can the striker be the most important part of the puzzle when we don't provide the service to our strikers? And that article totally tells the story. You know, we're looking for a striker at Man United, and we are. Were we wrong to sell Lukaku, one of the top scorers in Europe? I don't think we were wrong to sell him. I don't. But I also know Lukaku wanted to go. And one of the reasons Lukaku wanted to go was because he wasn't the team wasn't playing the way that suits Lukaku. Lukaku's a penalty box striker. Lukaku isn't a halfway line, 1-2, spin and turn, take 4 players on. Lukaku's a penalty box striker. And we don't provide service to penalty box strikers. How many goals have our strikers scored in the penalty box over the last 5 years? And then compare it against maybe a Manchester City or a Chelsea or a Liverpool. I'd be very interested to know those stats. I mean, I might be wrong. We might have scored more than them, but I very much doubt it. So I don't think that the striker position is the most important part of the puzzle. But we've all got different opinions, and clearly Andy Mitten thinks it is, and clearly some of you do, and I respect that. I really, really do. But I'll stand by what I've said, is that the most important part of the puzzle isn't a part, it's pieces. Manchester United need 4 or 5 pieces. This puzzle is not nearly complete. It's not like we're going to drop Erling Haaland in and the puzzle's there. Yeah, well, no. We need a centre-back who pushes us higher up the pitch, who's better than Harry Maguire. We need a centre defensive midfielder who can take the ball off the back 4, shield the back 4, pick up the runners and pass the ball forward quickly. And then we need creativity from the flanks, and then we need a number 9. So Manchester United seem to be putting it out there that the striker is the most important thing. And I just wonder, I don't think it won't happen, but I just wonder whether we would do something really ridiculous and just try and get, it's almost like a competition. Oh, look, we signed Erling Haaland. But we shouldn't even be in the race for that if we're trying to build a football club. Hi, Mark. Having seen that Ander Herrera leave for nothing, we can't afford to have Pogba be running his contract down next season. When Ollie first came in as interim, both were very important for us. We can't let both go for nothing, says Jordan Such. Very good point there, Jordan. And thank you, Usman Pave. I mean, look, just on that as well, Ander Herrera walked out the door for nothing because of bad decisions by the club, the board, right? I'd say Ander Herrera at that point was worth at least probably 25 million at that time. 25 million, right? If Paul Pogba walks out the door for nothing, I mean, Pogba, even at 29, he's probably still worth 50 million. That would mean in the last 4 years, we've let 75 million walk out the door for nothing. That's incompetence. Why are the Glazers not looking at that? They want dividends out the club, but that's nearly the equivalent of the dividends they've taken out the club. 75 million in players walking out the door for nothing. This sort of thing can't happen. That's why Manchester United need to take control of the situation. No player is bigger than the club. The situation with Pogba is becoming like that. If he's committed to United, he should come out in the open and clearly show his commitment, else it's time to move on. Look, no, Pranay, I really don't have anything negative to say about Paul Pogba. I don't. I'd love him to commit his future and stay at the club because I think he's one of our best players. I have got no issue with him wanting to leave United if it's about ambition, and I think it is. There's no reason to leave Manchester United if we're winning Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. We have failed Paul Pogba by not providing him the platform. Just the same, we're going to fail Rashford, we're going to fail Bruno, we're going to fail any other decent player that we've got if we continue down the path of the last 8 years. I've got no issue with Paul Pogba wanting to leave Manchester United if it's about ambition. But Manchester United need to take control of that situation. If I run a business or you run a business and one of your most important workers is saying, I might be off to another company in the summer, I don't know, I'll see how it goes. I'm not just going to sit there happily and go, yeah, no worries, if you want to stay, that's great. I'm going to try and resolve that situation and take control of it because I'm the boss. What would you think about Pulisic as a right-wing alternative? Feeling of unrest in comments he's making about lack of first-team football. He's a Man United supporter and would be good. I would have liked Pulisic, Arkan. The only problem is his injury record. Morning, Mark. Disgusted to hear you receive messages like that. These people are nothing but lowlives with nothing better to do, says Flizzy. Thanks for the super chat there. So, let's talk about Cavani. More talk about Cavani, actually, about Boca Juniors again. Now, apparently Cavani's on over £200,000 a week. There was some confusion about that when he first came to the club, but over £200,000 a week, which is huge. Huge amount of money. Because it was a desperation signing, as we know. Now, apparently he's going to take a huge wage cut to go and play at Boca Juniors in Argentina because that's what he wants to do. And Boca Juniors are basically saying to him, we want a decision and we want it soon. Oh, look, a club being proactive. This is total contradiction to United on Pogba. We're like sat there going, what are you going to do, Paul? Are you going to tell us now? He's not answering his emails. But Boca Juniors are apparently all over Cavani, like, we want a decision quickly because if you're not coming, we're going to move on and do something else. Manchester United had a chat with Cavani this week, still undecided on what's going to happen. And again, it just comes across as we just come across. I mean, look. I don't know that this is true. This is not fair. In many ways, this is not true. I don't know whether Man United have laid the law down to Pogba. I don't know whether they've laid the law down to Cavani. But what does come out very look, everything's about perception, isn't it? And I think with Manchester United, the perception is that when it comes to transfers, contract renewals, etc., we are seen as amateur. We are seen as amateur. Well, maybe we're not amateur. I mean, some would say we clearly are, but maybe we're not amateur. We'll do something about that perception then. You know, United are very big on perception and what the public think of them because it's a brand. So why not improve that perception? Why not put stuff out there that you're being proactive on things? With Cavani, I personally think let him go anyway. So, you know, let him go. Like don't be like, there's stories that they've tried to get him to stay, but he's still making his mind up. Why are we trying to make him stay? Look, I like Cavani. I think he's a very good striker, but has he been a success? Over £200,000 or £200,000, even £180,000 a week. Has he been worth it? No. You know, how much do you want to pay for a winner against Southampton? He hasn't been worth it because he's been injured, he's been suspended, and he was bloody self-isolating at the start. The fee we've paid for Cavani isn't worth what we got. And there's many reasons for that. And one of the big reasons as well, and one of the big reasons we shouldn't be buying Haaland, is that the service for Cavani has been shit. So I'd let him go. And I'd look at building your team out before you do that. I personally think we won't be any worse off with Cavani gone and Greenwood as the number 9. I don't think we will. I mean, Cavani's better than Greenwood, but I think we're building a future that way. United signing Haaland is like us signing Sanchez and Fred. Were they the first choice? No. Were they priority? No. But we won the beat City to sign him trophy. Sargent, I think that's a very good point. Actually, that's what worries me a little bit about it. There is an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference today. I know it's a bank holiday for a lot of people today, especially in the UK, being Good Friday. But we have got a lot of content for you today as normal because Ollie's doing his press conference at 1:30 UK time, so we'll be live at about 2 o'clock for that as well. And not an 8 o'clock show tonight, it's a 7 o'clock show, just to give you a shout out because because it is. Next bit of news I want to talk about is we've done Pogba, we've done Haaland. There was something else I wanted to talk to you about. Oh yeah, the goalkeeping situation. I mean, unfortunately, Scott Partington says, with the Glazers in charge, we will win nothing. And Daniel says, Cavani's not solved for Premier League, is way past his time. I don't think Cavani is past his time. I think the injuries are the issue. I think the lack of service is an issue. And I think that the fact that he's only going to stay one more year anyway, I mean, effectively Cavani becomes Pogba next season. Do you want 2 first-team players next year who you know aren't going to be there the year after, who are basically looking for deals beyond that? I don't think it's building a future. It's not progression, is it? So I think that's what we need to do. United signing Hart, we've done that one as well. So yeah, unfortunately, again, I was sent some stuff this morning about Henderson and David De Gea. I don't know anyone. Actually, on a funny note, there was a funny clip yesterday. I did tweet it about Dean Henderson was asked on some interview if he knew who Mark Goldbridge was, and he was like, no. And I genuinely, he probably doesn't. You know, he might be one of those players that just doesn't look at social media. James Cooper was talking about it on Monday, and he spoke about it again on Sky, and he spoke about it with us on Monday. He said that, you know, David De Gea is easier to manage than Dean Henderson because Ollie's worked with him for years. He's an established goalkeeper, and you know what you're getting. Dean Henderson is a very hungry, motivated, confident goalkeeper. And that's the decision that needs to be made. And Romano has said this decision will be made in the summer, which is why it's really important, I think, that David De Gea plays in goal against Brighton. Because if we are going to move David De Gea off, don't drop him completely because his value is going to drop. We are probably, and James Cooper said this. He said, I get the feeling that Man United will go with Dean Henderson as their long-term number 1. The problem's going to be, what do you do with David De Gea? And he said, I can see a situation where, well, the problem is if Dean Henderson goes off and becomes England's best goalkeeper for the next 10 years, that's painful for United having let him gone. If David De Gea goes back to Spain and does well, that's less painful for United. But the problem is, to do that, Manchester United are probably going to end up loaning David De Gea next season, which is not ideal because you don't get the money in. And also, they'd pay a massive percentage of his £375,000 a week. Now, forget the Henderson De Gea argument, because to be honest with you, I've got no interest in that. Let the media run their biased stuff about that, because one of them's English. But the reality is, they're both really good goalkeepers. I prefer De Gea, but if De Gea goes, I will back Henderson. I think he's a really good goalkeeper, as I said all last season at Sheffield United. I just didn't like this situation where we've got two really good goalkeepers and one spot. And hopefully next season we won't have that. But regardless of which one you prefer, what an embarrassing situation and waste of money we could have with this. So I think as you approach the summer, and I think we'd all agree on this, who's the one you're going to sell easier? Well, you're going to sell Henderson easier because he's not on the massive wages, and you'd get 40 million for him, which would go straight into the club, and you'd expect Ollie to get some of that. If you don't sell Henderson and you try to sell De Gea, we won't be able to sell him because he's on 375k a week. No one's going to give us the money plus the wages. Therefore, we're going to have to loan him, which means no transfer fee coming in to go towards the budget for the summer, which is useless. And also, we'd probably end up paying around 250 grand a week while he's on loan, which is $1 million a month for him to be on loan. So I'm thinking if we loaned David De Gea to, I don't know, Sevilla, Valencia or wherever, they'd only be able to pay 100 grand, 125 grand, which means we'd pay 250 grand. So we'd be paying $1 million a month for a goalkeeper that's not here. But if we sold him, we'd get 40 million and not have to pay his wages. So you've got to look at this business side of things, because there are so many United fans that don't look at the business side of things and they'll go, I want Koundé, Rice, Sancho and Haaland. Well, where's the money coming from that? And this is the issue that's been created by United again. It's like Herrera walking out the door for nothing, 25 million, goodbye. It's like Pogba running his contract down, 50 million, goodbye. It's like paying Sanchez 400 grand a week, ridiculous. It's like giving Phil Jones a 5-year deal. De Gea going on loan next season, paying him to be on loan and not getting a transfer fee is just hemorrhaging money out of the football club. Another bad business decision. And to be honest with you, we need to sell one of those goalkeepers. There is no future for one of them, so sell one of them. But it's going to be really, 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 really difficult. And it exposes how much we overpay players, says Advath. But I think that goalkeeper situation needs to be parked. And I do wish the media would stop talking about it, because I think it's being made into a big thing by the media. And I don't feel it's a big thing, and I don't know how you feel it's a big thing. I think the big thing for United is the back six, the midfield. I think that's the big thing. The goalkeeping situation, we've got two really good goalkeepers. And I think they should share the role until the end of the season, and then one of them needs to go. This is a story for the summer. This is not a story for now. I think it's disruptive for now. And Solskjaer needs to make a decision in the summer. There is a career mode today, Liam Parker, about 3 o'clock today. And De Gea plus cash for Koundé. Well, I see Ryan. You see, Ryan is hitting the nail on the head there, because that is exactly the right thing to say. That is exactly the right thing to say. Swap deals. You could go to Sevilla and say David De Gea for Koundé. You could do that. Now, I don't know what Sevilla's goalkeeper is. Maybe they don't want to do that. But you could do that. You could go to PSG and go David De Gea for, I don't know, probably not Verratti, but you could do something. Maybe Juventus. Juventus would love a good goalkeeper. So you could do something like that. I've got no issue with that happening. I would wish David De Gea all the best if you went to Juventus or whatever. If that's what we decide to do, I don't mind. You could even do it with Dean Henderson and West Ham. Like maybe Dean Henderson goes to West Ham with a buyback clause in 4 years' time. I don't mind doing that. But it's that creativity that a football club does. Look, in less than a minute, right? I've got Dean Henderson, I've got David De Gea. Both fantastic goalkeepers. Some fans want one, some fans want the other. But we agree they're very good goalkeepers, right? We've got to let one go. And we've got to make it work for our club. De Gea has got massive wages, very difficult to get rid of because no one's going to pay for it, right? Henderson, very easy to get rid of. But you want to keep Henderson, right? So you swap David De Gea with Juventus or PSG or another club and you get a player in. They take the wages on, they don't pay a transfer fee, he's gone. Or Dean Henderson, you swap him with maybe West Ham, Declan Rice involved, 4 years, first refusal, he comes back in 4 years. There is a very easy solution there. Of course there is. But the problem is, I don't think we act like a football club. I love to be corrected on this. I think Romano mentioned swap deals a year ago. We've been talking about it ever since. Very, very logical thing in the world we live in to deal in swap deals instead of money, because people don't have money at the moment. The problem is, and I think I'm right on this until I'm proven wrong, I don't think United like swap deals because they want the money to come into the club, because we're a money club. We've got dividends, we've got debt, we've got shareholders. We want cash coming into the club. We don't want to do football deals. We don't want to do a swap deal. Well, where's the money? Where's the money coming in? It's such a contradiction, though, because you hemorrhage money so badly. Why are you obsessed about money coming in when you let it go out so much? So yeah, I would love to see that. Of course I would. If David De Gea doesn't start on the weekend, is that the end, says Salah Ahmed? I tell you what, I'm almost prepped for it. But if David De Gea doesn't start at the weekend, I will be disgusted with Solskjaer. I won't be Ollie out, but I will be disgusted. It's got nothing to do with whether I think Henderson should be number one or not. It's not to do with that. I just think it would be unfair and a bad business decision. I've said this before, so I don't want to talk about it too much. It's unfair because at the start of the season, David De Gea has done nothing wrong this season, and he had to share it, Premier League and the Cup, with Henderson. That was the decision at the start of the season. So why is it fair to make that to not share it out now, when in De Gea's last game against Chelsea, he was man of the match and he went off to see his son be born? That's not a reason to be unfair. You know, you've still got to share it out. There's been games where De Gea has been brilliant and he's still not played in the Cup. There's been games where Henderson's been brilliant in the Cup and he's still not played in the league. So why change that now? It's not fair. But the second thing, and probably the most important thing, is if you're going to sell De Gea, don't drop him till the end of the season, because you're going to drop his value. Keep him in the team until the end of the season, like you've done all season. Name all the swap deals that have taken place. Pjanic and Arthur, and it's been a disaster, says Johnny. But Johnny, that is ridiculous, in my opinion, Johnny, because so Johnny's saying you don't do swap deals because Pjanic and Arthur didn't work. Well, Sanchez and Mkhitaryan didn't work. But I tell you what, I can name you a million swap deals that would work straight away. Like, what about Haaland for Pogba? Won't happen, but that would work. You know, you can't say swap deals don't work in general, because there's loads of swap deals that would work. I'm sure there's hundreds of swap deals that people can think of. Mbappe for Pogba. I mean, you'd have to put a bit of money in there. Or what about Lingard and Henderson for Declan Rice? I bet that would work for everybody. So swap deals can work. They're just quite rare, which is why when we had Romano on a year ago and he mentioned it, if you watch that back, I was like, what's he on about? Swap deals? That's the sort of thing for FIFA or Football Manager, because it's not been done much. But they definitely can work. Welcome to United Stand Members Club, DTM Jex. And didn't we have a buyback clause with Depay? Isn't he a bad centre forward? We haven't got a buyback clause, Subo. We've got a first refusal, which is a little bit different. So a buyback clause means that there's probably a set fee that you can pay to buy them back. First refusal is, we're going to sell him. Do you want to put a bid in? Which actually Man City have got with Sancho. Fabrizio's United 11 for next season is exciting, Salah Ahmed. If someone could knock me in it in the live comments, I will go through that. Just a couple of other things to talk about. We'll get clarity on the injuries at lunchtime from Ollie's press conference, so make sure you tune in for that. But effectively, we could be without Greenwood, Rashford and Martial this weekend. Apparently Martial has got a knee injury, even though he was on the bench for France on Wednesday. Apparently there was an issue that was showed up on the scan on Tuesday. How much is De Gea worth, says Nathan? I still think De Gea is worth 40-50 million, but his wages are the problem, really. He's only 30, David De Gea. I still think he's a very, very, very valuable goalkeeper. We spoke about that. We spoke about injuries. Milenkovic is going to leave, according to Italian reports. Milenkovic, who is the Fiorentina centre-back, he is going to be leaving. It's nailed on he's going to leave Fiorentina, and they mention Manchester United again. I don't think that... Apparently Martial wasn't on the bench on Tuesday, so I was misinformed. Sorry about that. That's from Bob. I'll say what I say about Milenkovic. For me, Milenkovic is too much like Maguire. I think they're too similar. I think Ben White's the same. They're the same sort of centre-back as Maguire. They don't have the assets we need. When you're looking for Manchester United's new centre-back, look at Eric Bailly, and you basically want a better centre-back than Eric Bailly who doesn't get as injured. And when I say a better centre-back, you want the attributes of Bailly, you want the pace, you want the ability in the air. If he's got it, great, but you don't want another Harry Maguire. And I think Milenkovic is too similar to Harry Maguire for me. Callum says, where do you think Haaland will go in the summer? I'm 100% sure that Haaland will go to a team that's home kit has got blue on it next season. Figure it out. Let me just have a quick look. Apparently there's something here coming in about... Van der Beek. I'll have a quick look. Sources close to Van der Beek make the point that he agreed to join Man United in full knowledge that Pogba and Fernandes would prove difficult to dislodge, and the transition would not be easy, and that he is not someone to run away from a challenge. So, yeah, I think that that's quite interesting. I mean, look, it doesn't add anything to the conversation. It's a bit like the Paul Pogba thing. As we are here right now, Van der Beek is staying at Manchester United because we've got 2 months left of the season. Van der Beek, as per his Dutch coach, as per many people close to Van der Beek is not happy with what's happening at United, but I don't disagree with what's been said by James Ducker there. He will know the situation for what it is. In the summer, there will be a conversation. Am I having another season like this, or am I going to play first team football? So I wouldn't be worried about Van der Beek at the moment. Wait and see what happens in the summer with Van der Beek. Because if Ollie, maybe Ollie says to him, I haven't really seen enough for you. You will be on the bench again next season. And Van der Beek says, well, I'll find a move then. So again, I think that's one for the summer. But as I said on the preview for the Brighton game yesterday, I would play Van der Beek against Brighton. I would play Pogba, Bruno and Van der Beek against Brighton. I think the time is now to move away from this back six and start trying to get some of our better players on the pitch. And look, if Greenwood and Rashford and Martial have got injuries, get Van der Beek in that team. But you know what he's going to do? He's going to put Dan James on the right, he's going to put Pogba on the left, and he's going to play McFred again. And that we will still beat Brighton with that team. But what a load of nonsense. Putting Paul Pogba on the left wing. I mean, come on. Have a word with yourself, Ollie. Get Pogba in the middle, put Dan James on the left, and put Van der Beek on the right with Bruno in the middle, with Pogba behind him, and Fred or McTominay or Matic. I mean, it's not rocket science. Get your best players on the pitch. I almost wish I had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's WhatsApp or email to just say, watch the first half an hour of Man United against Everton at Goodison Park in the Carabao quarter-final the week before Christmas. You were in charge. You picked the team. That's the best I've seen this season. We absolutely annihilated them. Halfway up the pitch, pressed them in their own half, and you played Pogba, Bruno and Van der Beek and Bailly. Like, you picked that team. I'm not showing you a clip of Prime Pep. I'm showing you a clip of Prime Ollie. Pick that team. That's the best we've played. Smother them. Get at them. Play a bit of bloody football. Go on the front foot. Stop grinding out 1-0 wins against Brighton to get second place and a new contract. Start showing us the new world. Start showing us a bloody vision. Don't put Pogba on the wing and Dan James on the wing and McFred in the midfield and put bloody Donny on the bench. Go for it. He won't do it, though. He won't do it. Bloody David De Gea and Van der Beek are going to be sat there together playing rock, paper, scissors on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. You know it. Haaland does not want to play in the Premier League, apparently, says Tim Walker. I think that... honestly, where do I think Haaland will go? I did a video on this on That's Football, so I said I fancied Chelsea, Real Madrid or PSG, but I think Barcelona would not surprise me now. I don't think he's going to go to Man City, not Manchester United. Chelsea, never write Chelsea off. Don't write PSG off. But I think Real Madrid or Barcelona is the real battle there. And people will say where they're going to get the money from. Oh, they'll get the money. They'll get the money. Magaluf and Fred to start this weekend, says Salah Ahmed. 100%. 100%, yeah. You know, that's Ollie's way. This is the way with Ollie. He loves McFred and he loves Magaluf. So... The sad thing is he's picked a team that's way better than that plays better football, that's more entertaining, that's more befitting of Manchester United, and we all hear it. We want to play a certain brand of football, the United DNA, and then he picks a team like Mourinho or Van Gaal. Like you're replicating the people we got rid of, but you're telling us you're trying to be the United way. Well, the United way would be Magaluf and Bay, Maguire and Bay centre backs. Fred and Pogba, or McTominay and Pogba. Van der Beek to the right, Dan James to the left, Bruno and Cavani. That's if Martial and Greenwood and Rashford are all injured, which if they are carrying injuries, they shouldn't play. It's Brighton at home. So we've got Ollie's press conference coming up at lunchtime, so we'll find out about I'm sure he'll be asked about Haaland actually, so that'll be he will be asked about Haaland because obviously Riola's talking to people, so he'll be asked about Haaland. We'll also get the injury update, so don't miss the press conference reaction about 1:45 today on this channel. Make sure you subscribe, smash a like on the video. My Goldbridge Cooking with Goldbridge, an Easter Friday special, is on my channel. That's coming up at about midday, and I've got FIFA Career Mode on That's Football at about 3. So I'll see you on there. Hold on 1 minute. Romano's 11 was De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Koundé, Fred, Pogba, Bruno, Sancho, Rashford, Martial. That's only got 2 players in it. That's Romano's 11 for next season. So it's only got Koundé and Sancho in it. I mean, the big weakness there is Fred, isn't it? But I like the team. I mean, De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Koundé, Fred, Pogba, Bruno, Sancho, Rashford, Martial. I like that team. I mean, that's just Romano's 11. I think it's a very naive 11 because I don't think that will happen. But I don't mind that team. I don't mind that team at all. I mean, Hader says that's a solid team. I do like that team. But as Rico says, the problem is Fred. You need a proper CDM in there, and we haven't got one. Thanks everyone for watching. Great show. Great way to start off Good Friday. I'll see you at lunchtime for the press conference reaction. And thanks for watching. Take care. I'll speak to you soon.